Last step.
She's singing.
It's gonna be difficult today.
Of course. 2. Six. Hi, Carl. Nine. Oh, wow, it jumped right to 18. She done singing?
For the moment.
21. I'll stay.
I can't even look at her because she'll just keep talking to me. $23. We got rain this weekend. What you got?
Supposed to be 90 tomorrow.
Is it really?
90 with a chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon.
Yeah, I was supposed to have rain
It
today.
was hot. You know, it was hot and sunny, hot and humid today. And why not turn the oven on? You know, why not?
I lost my glasses this
Hello,
week.
Izzy.
Wasn't happy.
It's not good.
No. You too, Izzy. Good to see you.
Yeah, summer flew by.
I know the leaves here are already starting to change and fall off the trees. It's
That's not cool.
a
Hi,
song.
Daryl.
The only other good thing is it means Christmas is coming and I could start decorating for Christmas. As we have this discussion in August.
Halloween.
Halloween's already out in the stores.
Oh, no, I know that. I saw that. Ay, ay, ay.
Hey, Karen.
Listen, Hallmark's been playing Christmas stuff since like June.
The Hallmark Channel, that doesn't count. They always play sappy stuff.
No, I know that, but it was so funny. I was like, what the hell? Looking through the channels, I'm like, really?
Yeah, that's like a make-believe channel. That's like a sappy TV channel.
But I go right past it.
I know. Leaves don't fall in PR. I have to come visit you. I've never been there. Lord knows I need a vacation. $49. I guess we could start. We're really close.
Come on, one more.
All right, Izzy, I'm going to keep you up on that when you get that guest room ready.
32. Full deck.
So today is Friday. We have a couple things to catch up on. This week's winner is EH, letters EH. So if you are EH, you should be looking for a communication from Madeline to reach out to you. And I finally made it to the live meeting. I usually watch you on YouTube. I know I'll be sending out that email this week with last week's and this week's on it. So that is our winner. So thank you very much for your donations and for supporting what we've been doing. We appreciate you more than you know. And so the other thing to tell you today is we had Jake had filed another brief in our case today. They're kind of going back and forth about these extensions, about when to file. And it's procedural because the city did have some little bit of pushback, and Jake did a really great job. If you read it, if you didn't, go up onto the court site on the appellate page and look at the briefs. It's there. They are pretty phenomenal. He is a very good attorney. So we're very pleased with his work in this case, right? Thumbs up. The city had a few things to say about us, and he pushed back and stood up for us, and that, you know, you don't attack people.
So he always has something to say.
I know. And then the other crazy stuff is we've been hearing that the UFT is putting out some more communications saying that they're finally admitting that they took the $1 billion out of the health insurance stabilization funds. But now they're saying, yeah, we did it, but we could.
But then they said put it back or something. I don't know. It was something. I
money.
can't even keep up. I can't even keep up.
He said the pot of money is fungible.
A fungible. Is that a word?
Fungible. It is. I actually did a video on it today.
Did you?
Definition of fungible. You have to go look at it.
Oh, okay.
I posted it to LinkedIn, Twitter, and my Facebook page. So
Well, I'll be right on it.
if you want to go and find out what the definition of fungible is, go to one of my profiles. Very interesting. I learned a new word.
All right then.
Yes, and so the theory that the UFT is putting out is, yeah, we took that money, but we could, because that pot of money was fungible, and we replaced it with healthcare savings. But you know, the funny thing is when you buy a car, you pay the debt back, right?
That's what they tell me, because if not, they take my car away.
I know, so I bought a car, I pay the bill. You buy a car, you pay the bill. But see, what the teachers did was they bought the car, gave the bill to us.
Well, can I do that?
I wish I did. Still looking for someone to adopt me. But yes, fungible. Yes, Al, that's very funny. Fungible equals robbery. Yeah, so I was talking to someone today who says, well, that kind of is the same thing as a quid pro quo, right? We took the money, we got the benefit, we got the raise, and we took from you to pay what they took. Yeah, okay. So no, I think, Gerald, the reason why that answer came out like that was because they were getting inundated with invoices for the stabilization fund.
I wonder how that happened.
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know. I know nothing.
I don't know nothing either. So, yeah, thought that was cute. Fungible is the word of the day. Next week, it'll be quid pro quo. So that's really all I have. Do you guys have any questions? And while you're putting your questions in the chat, Michelle, do you have anything you want to throw in here?
You know what? I have to go back. Actually, no, not really.
So Gwen says, when those who got raises retire, will the fungible the new actives? Will they fungible the new actives? Well, and there's a word for that too. That's selling out your unborn. They unions tend to go cyclical, and they make these horrible decisions from time to time, because selling out the unborn, say the magic word and win a duck. Yes.
Actually, I do. Would you? I know it was addressed on the page, and I know we were talking about it the other day that that OLR actually hired new people, and
They
that
did.
yes, that they're going to be answering their phones and doing stuff.
Yes. I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Good point. So with all of the complaining that we've been doing and pushing back on the mayor and telling them, hey, you keep saying the city's open, but OLR is still closed. When the hell are you going to hire people to run and staff OLR and answer our damn questions? And then finally, we were told, well, we were told a month ago it was coming. And then when we spoke with them this week, they did tell us that they're getting ready to open up next week. So that's a good thing. So do us a favor, wait till like, I don't know, maybe the first week of September, and then make a point to try to call there and ask a question and see, you know, what they know and how well that's going. I heard they're opening. Yes, they are opening for in-person. Yes, there was enough of a pushback. Absolutely. If it's hired civil service or a contractor, that's a question I can't answer. I would like to believe that they are
City usually hires non-unionized people for call centers and doesn't train them well. I would not be too excited about this. Yeah, we know, Ellen, but hey, at least somebody's answering the phone. Okay, so let's take that as a positive at least.
Give it a chance before, because we really don't know. I mean, that's speculation, right? So right. Let's see what happens. Let's see how good they are. Let's see that they told us that they were in training and so let's take a look and see, right? And see how that goes. Camille, I think they're using taxpayer money, which is really what the purpose is for, is to serve you. They do need to serve employees and retirees, and that is their job. So let's give them an opportunity to pull this off right, and do know, like anything else, you know, a restaurant that first opens the first week has a learning curve. You don't usually judge the new restaurant for the first week. You usually wait till the second month. So give them a little time to get this off and running. It's what we've been asking for. So they listened. And
right, but I think also now, they're training, I think now, I believe.
Yeah. Right. So let's give it a chance. Actually, since the Alliance pulled out, OLR lost their call center. She's a comedian today. Yes, they did. And then the other thing was, so there was a post made by a gentleman on our Facebook page yesterday and today, that he had been communicating with OLR via email, and he was told that he didn't have to do the forms and he didn't have to file a Medicare B reimbursement. And so I did not like that idea that they were the advice he was given was everything had to be done electronic. I still feel there needs to be a paper trail. As to everything we've been told, there needs to be a paper trail. So we communicated today to OLR, and it was affirmed that our opinion was correct, that he still does have to do those forms. He still does need to do the Medicare B reimbursement form and the health change form and get them in. It was just requested by the assistant deputy director. And so when you have two pieces of information, one coming from assistant deputy director and the other coming from a call center person or a customer service rep, I would take the assistant deputy director's advice. Right?
Oh yeah.
So just saying, because then if something happens and that information doesn't make it in the computer, you have no paper trail. Just saying. So I did post that information on the website on our Facebook page today. So if you're listening, make sure that you do, until they come out with something and say, because I even joked and I said, hey, this would be great because then, you know, we could save a few forests. But they asked again, put it in paper. So, and he even answered me after hours. So take it from where it's worth. It is in the, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Gwen. Karen Miller, has the city said what they are going to do for open enrollment? No, they have not. If you read Jake's brief online, Karen, we asked the city like 4 things last month. It was, are you doing another Medicare Advantage plan? Who's going to be the vendor? Is it going to be rolled out the same way as the last one was? And are the features the same? 4 things. They can't answer the question, and they can't tell us if they can ever answer the question. And so that was the reason why we were predicating the request to delay the response was because we should have those answers, especially if we are having to argue this appeal. So, hey, Augie, nice to see you. So, yes, but, you know, of course, I think the teachers union said something about why were we asking to do that when the appeal is mooted? The appeal's not mooted. That makes absolutely no sense. The appeal is still on because the city is still going forward with the appeal. We didn't file the appeal. So yes, Janet, I've called the UFT. I've even called the cell phone twice for Tom Murphy and nobody. I got nothing. He doesn't want to return my phone call. They're like, oh my God, it's her again. So I tried, you know. I was really offended by the city's language in their response to our request for info on what the city is doing next. Very offensive about our group. Yeah, they're basically saying like, you know, we killed their whatever, but you know, these were their issues, and the city didn't have to remember something. The city didn't have to stop the plan. The judge said you can go ahead with it. You just can't charge those retirees a penalty. They chose not to do that. They didn't mitigate their losses. That's on them, not on us. So Jake did stand up for us. He pushed back on some of that because their language was pretty harsh. My question is, if Emblem Health pulled out of the MAP plan, how can it wasn't Emblem, it was Anthem Blue Cross. And just because Anthem Blue Cross pulled out, they can still go and find another vendor because they had several vendors make application during that RFP process, and they're going to the next vendor, which was Aetna. How can the appeals continue in court when the city doesn't have the whole package? In other words, their map blew up in their face. Well, remember what they're arguing in the appeal was that the judge made a mistake in his interpretation of 12-126 that says that they don't have to pay for any plan for us. They only have to give us one plan, and the free plan that they're choosing to give us is one plan, and that free plan is going to be their plan.
Love the phone number, Kevin. The UFT phone number is 800 fungible. I'll have to look, Dominic. When did you send that email? Did you get that? The email, Dominic says the email says the meeting 9/1/22 has been moved to 10 a.m. I guess that's for you.
Yes, that's for
She
me.
got it.
I got it. Thank you, Dominic. Crazy.
We're always on fire.
What's on fire?
No, we're always on fire, Denise. She's like, you're on fire tonight.
Who is? You are?
No, it just says we're on fire.
Oh. Okay, what can I tell you? I don't know, that's pretty funny. So does anyone have any other questions? Like the UFT phone number, some will dial it. There was an advertisement where someone, it was in a catalog where someone had they were displaying on a catalog a bulletin board, and on the bulletin board said a phone number, 8675309.
Jenny.
And it was on the bulletin board, and people were actually calling the phone number.
Oh.
So I don't know. I'm off the ledge, ladies. Thank you for all you do.
There you go, Augie. Aim to please.
you know, Augie, even if it's a bad situation, we'll still be able to walk you through it. You know, we're trying our hardest here and trying to get through this because we're all waiting for the day that this thing is over so we can get our lives back. Right. So the next video from Michael will be the retiree has forced us into fungibility. Yes, Ellen, the thermometer can go up again, but Madeline is still away. And when she gets back, she will put the thermometer up and send us the financial updates. No more questions. You ladies have a good idea how much you appreciate. God bless you. Well, you're welcome, Al. That's very sweet of you. Yep. I'm not seeing anything else. It's an easy night.
I know, even George is like, can't wait till all of this is done.
I know, George. Do we have to file again that we want to stay with our own plan? And you know, Marion, that's really up to what the city does. I have absolutely no answer for that question. It would behoove the city to start the process all over again, because the plan will be fundamentally different. It's a different vendor. I'm sure the situation is going to be different. And this is the other thing, guys, remember, they right now, we warned them, didn't we, Michelle, that they weren't, if they instituted this, they were setting a precedent. They were not just going to come after us now. The second time around, they were coming after them. Guess what they're doing?
Right. Right.
They are now trying to get one vendor to take over all the healthcare for all employees and retirees. So the rumors that we're hearing is that they're looking to force all, if they're going to stick us in this MA plan, is their agenda. They're looking to potentially stick all employees into an HMO, like a HIP HMO or an HMO, somehow. One plan. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do that. So if the employees are listening, or you know employees, pass that message around, because that's what we're getting from the city and from the unions. Because some of the unions are a little frustrated with that message.
Well, they don't listen.
Nope. We warned them, didn't we?
Yes.
We said this was going to happen.
Yep.
Because they basically told the message that, hey, you could do this. If you're doing this to the, if you're letting us do this to the retirees, you crazy unions, we're going to come for you next. Right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yep.
And they're next.
Augie, don't worry about it. We'll help you walk through those bills. And just remember, medical bills are not something you should put on your credit card. You make a payment arrangement with them and you pay it off little by little. You do not sack yourself with debt. They have to accept a payment plan if it gets to be that way, but you should be fine. Go into it with a positive attitude, because you're going to need healthy healing coming out, right?
Yeah.
Are we keeping up with the monthly donation goal? Gerald, I wish I could tell you I don't have the information from Madeline this week, but we'll get it and we'll update you. But everybody needs a little bit of a break, so she's on her vacation. Hey, ladies, I found it. There's a, hey, Trudy.
Yes, and we're going to stick it to them.
So, Kevin, I did have that conversation with Holden's office, and they basically said that they can't help us. I do not want this to interfere with my surgery. George, you're having surgery too. Everyone's having surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, I don't know what you mean by, can you tell what local unions have spoken about this? No union is speaking on our side about this. They're all against what we're doing. All the unions. Unions are frustrated, yet not one is coming out in public about one vendor getting the whole healthcare. Yeah, I know they're not wanting to say it because I think they know that'll be their lynching, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll be
Yeah.
ostracized.
Well, and remember too, Arlene, the Aetna kind of feels like they got screwed in this whole thing, right? And they still have a pending, they could still file an appeal to their case if they wanted, and they'd probably win on that appeal. So their pushback with the city is going to be either you give us this business or we're going to take you back to court. And they must have something on them because the city's listening, right?
Well, yeah.
Augie, yes, heart problems again.
And
You'll do fine, Augie. You have a
and
big
how-
heart.
sorry.
Go ahead.
And how does it feel to be hated by all? No sweat off my nose.
I'm neither. Sorry, autocorrect keeps writing Angie when I write Augie. What local unions has said that they don't want a single plan in the, none of them. Not one of them has said they don't want a single plan. They're not even saying anything. Any take about all the postings in Crane's article with you about it becoming increasingly difficult to find GHI doctors, non-Medicare eligible outside the New York City area and some small parts of other areas. Also, what about posting about GHI not wanting to? So, Ellen, I'm just going to tell you, I have a really bad feeling that Emblem is out the door. You know, the city had to, the city could have extended their regions for physicians at a cost of $3 million a region, and they didn't do it, and they haven't done it. And it was in their agreements that they could do it, and they still didn't do it. And they've watched these areas be decimated with doctors, providers, and they've never refilled them. So, you know, we posted that because we wanted to see more of the feedback coming, but I think that will just further add to the demise, to be honest with you. Because today I got probably about 24 phone calls from retirees in different areas, a lot in Florida, but there's a lot not, who cannot find a doctor within 100 miles of them, and their spouses can't find doctors within 100 miles. And they call up Emblem, they'll have found a doctor willing to be in the plan, but Emblem tells them the panels are closed. So we don't understand why you'd be refusing a doctor to enter your plan. That makes no sense. I got jealous on the floor now. Yeah, she's like nipping at my ankles because I'm holding Shug. Yeah, love my baby too. Yeah, she's very high maintenance. Right? Too crazy. Slow night, 121 people. Well, good night to you, Evan.
Gotta get in this polka dot fungible to go to sleep.
I know. I know. Want to get down? I also thought the city might be so wicked to force GHI to do a private conversion. I kind of thought that RFI was a way to hold their feet to the fire, to be honest. Michelle and I in the group have talked about that a lot, that may have been that way, but I don't know, I'm just not sure what they're doing. And I don't think they could do anything fast either, because they learned from their last mistake by trying to force something down, the pike real fast. Didn't really work for them, did it?
No, it didn't.
They literally tried to set that into motion in less than 6 months. So you're welcome, Elizabeth. It's too early for sleep. Keep going. We could do bingo.
There you go.
They have increased their paid back in years. They have not increased their paid back in years, like DC 37 and the old dental plan. DC would pay $7 for filling a tooth. Well, and I think that's part of the problem with Emblem. They're still on a 1983 pay schedule. So who would really want that? Even though there are some doctors that are willing to take it, but what they're finding is that more and more doctors that were independent, that are being gobbled up by these big corporate conglomerates, those are the ones not taking Emblem. You too, Sherry, thank you. And that was the conversation I had with several of those people today from Florida. If we lose Emblem Health, what will replace it? You got your ball?
Yeah, I got my ball.
So George, we did file a FOIL request. I can't tell you who will replace it unless Michelle's Magic 8 Ball knows, because they have not answered.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely. So there will be a definite replacement, but we just don't know what.
Right.
So we did file a request to find out who replied to that RFI. And that it closed on July 14th, and we have no response to it yet. When we do, we'll let you know. But remember, it was just a request for information, not an RFP, which would be the very next step.
Right. You have a good weekend, Ellen. You're welcome. Lisa.
Has the city ever indicated they would be receptive to including representatives from the retirement group in the writing of a new RFP and vendor selection? No, but I will tell you that the teachers and the MLC pushed back on that the last time. If you're on traditional Medicare, don't the docs have to take Emblem as a secondary? Absolutely. We've been saying this for a year. If any of you are on traditional Medicare and you have a secondary, whether they would normally accept GHI Emblem Health in the course of their business as a primary or not, they still have to take your secondary. If they take Medicare, they must take the secondary. If Emblem Health is your primary, they don't have to take it. But if they accept your Medicare, they must accept your secondary. And you need to explain that to them and make sure that Medicare has your, and it should be in there. You can log into your My Medicare and it should tell you that you have your GHI PPO plan as your secondary plan. But they have to accept it. They can't refuse it.
Right. And I think
that problem, call me or Michelle and we'll yell at them.
Right. And I think it just goes back to some people don't, when we talk about the 1983 rates, that's when we talk about people who are not on Medicare, that's why these doctors' offices are not taking just GHI. They're just like, no, the pay scale is horrible.
Yeah, that's why they don't want it as your primary.
Right.
Did you ever celebrate the first year anniversary or your birthday of this group? No, we didn't actually. We should look to do that.
I started a fire. It was paper. It was paper.
So the founding meeting of this organization was August 13th. It was a Friday. Our incorporation was finalized on August 31st. So maybe we'll we'll wait to that date, but we'll do something. I'm sure we'll host a birthday party or something. That would be fun, right?
There you go. We'll
If
start a
we-
fire.
Do you think the city will drop the bid? So Gwen, that question, I do, well, so we've said this before, that the unions are telling us that even if we win, we're gonna lose. And that was said to our face, right? Even if you win, you're gonna lose. They kind of screwed up the saying when they said it to us. So even if we win, we're gonna lose. We were like, what does that mean? You're still gonna screw us? And they were like, well, yeah. And so how would they do that? And what they wanted was, if we win in court, that meant that the judge's decision interpretation on 12-126 was accurate. And the only way around that decision is to kill the administrative code in which we won our case on 12-126. So if they go to kill the code, then they basically screw us. And we know that they're talking about that right now. We know that they're talking about changing 12-126, killing 12-126, taking all the plans off the table, the nuclear option. They're talking all. They are in such a desperate way because of the agreements that they made and the promises that they made that they had no right to make. That's why they're in this situation. They're willing to sell out their soul.
Mhm. Karma.
We still need the IR. Yes, I know, Ellen, we are trying. You know, I spoke to Schumer's office again this week, but unless I have some crisis that they believe is a crisis, there's really no expediting the application. So sorry, I'm trying. Yeah, party, not part. Well, when we part, it will be with a party. But I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's 9 o'clock and it's slow and it's Friday. And if
Yep.
you guys don't have anything else, we might just call it a night.
Yep. Okay, should we-
Well, Ellen, we were doing that. We had made that request. I'm not sure if there's been any movement on it. I'm too busy to literally follow up on that too. Yes, Dominic, that's what they said. He actually said we'd win the war but lose the battle. And it should have been, we win the battle and lose the war. I think you were on that call. Oh, well, save bad time, send bad station. Absolutely, Gwen. You have a
Yeah.
great week.
Well, as usual, thank you, everyone. Want to have a great weekend, right? Is there any more questions out there?
So Lisa, you say folks keep a record of all your donations so you can claim a tax deduction when we get a nonprofit. So here's the guidance on the IRS on that. Because we filed as a nonprofit, because we are incorporated as a nonprofit in the state of New York, because we filed a 501c3 with the federal government IRS, but it is pending. You can treat your donations like a tax deductible donation. However, if it gets denied and we appeal it and it's still denied, then you'd have to go back and make whatever changes that you need to make. And I'm not an accountant, so I really can't tell you what all that entails. So the choice is yours. You either take it as a deduction if you're going to file, but we do have a few more months, and I'd like to be optimistic because we did file it in January, that maybe that they'll eventually get their stuff together and reply. Or you can amend your taxes later, and those who are seniors usually do it at a senior center or AARP for free, or if you do your taxes yourself on TurboTax or Quicken or whatever, you can do it on your own. But I'm just supposed to tell you that you can treat it like it, but you have to know that if we ever get denied, you're still responsible for reversing it. Trudy, I absolutely have no idea. I had no time to follow up with Tina today. But thank you for everything that you did in helping her. You too, Dan. Good to see you again. I don't know what to say.
The weather for the rest of the summer?
Lisa, while she's shaking her 8-ball, yes, you can actually Google that, pending 501c3 taxability donations or something like that in Google, and you'll find what I found.
It says, Ellen, it says concentrate and ask again.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, let's go concentrate and ask again.
All right.
You guys have a good night. Have a great weekend. We'll open the page back up on Tuesday. If something else happens, I'm sure we'll let you know. And
We will crack the page open. Any breaking news? Thank you to the moderators, Joe for handling the website, Kathy for handling our donation gift.
yes, thank you, Kathy,
To
for all your
everybody out
support.
there in our Facebook land and YouTube land. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support and donations.
Yep. We appreciate you.
Yes, yes, we do. Ready?
You good?
Yes, we're good. And you guys have a good night. Good weekend.
Ciao, guys. Mwah.
Later.